Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am unannounced and I am actually 20 minutes later than I had planned. I am having one of those days. I don't know if you guys ever have those days where just everything seems to be taking longer and you just can't seem to get yourself back on track. But I am here with you and I am so incredibly happy to be here crafting with you. I am trying to pull you up on my iPad and here we go. I want to share this and it doesn't want to, of course not. So hold on just 1 minute while I get try to get this to share. The stamp sale is going on right now. I hope you guys have had a chance to peruse the fabulous stamp sets that are on sale. And okay, there we go. Okay. So the stamp sale that is on right now, there are so many fabulous stamp sets that are on sale. And we are going to be using Way to Goat, which is on sale for $22.10. And we are using Friend Like You, which is regular $29. It is $24.65. I don't think I introduced myself. That's the kind of day I'm having. I am Marcy Denning. It is, I am from Stampin' with Marcy. So welcome to my Facebook page, and I am happy you are here. Also, the sign up right now for the October paper pumpkin kit, Joy to the World is what it's called, is going on right now. So like I said, we are going to be using the Way to Goat stamp set and the Friend Like You as well. I am pairing it with the fence die from the Autumn Wheelbarrow dies. I had said right from the get-go when I saw these dies that they would be perfect with the Way to Goat stamp set. So let me show you what I have done. So we are going to be creating a Slimline card today. Now, Slimline cards, obviously Stampin' Up! Does not have envelopes for that. So I have gone ahead and created my own. As you can see, and we're going to do that today as well so you can see. So this, ta-da! Isn't this so cute? I am absolutely thrilled with the way my card turned out. I absolutely knew I needed to put these goats with this fence when I saw it because it's just too perfect. So as you can see, we're going to do some watercoloring, and then my sentiment is actually all in one. So I'm going to do one of my techniques that I absolutely love to do. We're going to mask it off so that it says on the front, "Life is so good," with a friend like you on the inside. So, and can you see I have not only splattered with some water, can you see that shimmery clear Wink of Stella goodness that I have put all over my card front? As well, I am using the shimmery white cardstock just so that the ink blending goes smoother. Because this cardstock is a little coated, I would say, it's got a much smoother finish, so it is really awesome for ink blending. So let's get started first on doing that. So I am going to bring in I'm going to bring in a piece of, just a cut down piece of my grid paper. Please say hello when you join me. Let me know where you're watching from. So before we do that, actually, I need to stamp my goat. So, because this goat here is stamped directly on my the shimmery white cardstock. I'm just checking. Hello, Diana. How are you? Thanks for joining today. Yes, Slimline cards are so fun. I do have to quickly also apologize in advance. The cats are very, very frisky today, to say the least. So if there happens to be some ruckus going on, I am going to apologize right off the bat for that. Just because of they've been running around here causing a commotion. So our goat is now stamped in the corner. All right, and I have already stamped and colored and fussy cut out my other goat because you don't want to sit and watch me do that. I know your time is very valuable. So I have cut out a mask to cover up my goat because I don't want him getting any ink all over him. So also you want to make sure that this is, or a cat butt on the camera. No, we've had that before. We don't want that again. So we are just going to take and, oh, this is folded over. Take and cover him up as best we can. There's only the tape on the top, the side here, so I have to be very careful as I am applying my color that it doesn't fold back, and then I'll color it in after the fact. I also, to save time, because you don't want to sit and watch me do this, I've also already cut down my dimensionals. Oh, then we're stuck here. To put on the back of my fence here because I'm going to pop them up. So all I've done is cut the sides of the dimensionals off. So I have, they all look the same color. The cats were down here last night with me, running around again as well. So I'm just going to quickly see. I think that's green. They also, yeah, this is my green, and this is that one. They also went and stole my stylus for my Simply Scored. I don't know where it is, but I come down here every day and find something new that they have decided to play with. 3 cats is a lot of commotion, let me tell you. I don't know how people do it, as they are quite the handful, the 3 of them together. All right, so even though this is basically covered up, I went and came in like this with my ink so that it's kind of like grass. Not exactly blending, because I wanted that kind of grassy look. So I'm gonna just go all along the bottom, and there's going to be some lighter and darker areas just as there is with your grass, and I'm going to try to keep up with comments, but hopefully I can, because I got to concentrate a smidge here as I'm doing this. So I was to the post office this morning. That was a little slower. They were doing some training I apologized as I had a slew of things to mail out. Thank you cards, team member stuff. So I apologized for possibly overwhelming the new postal worker with all my stuff. And I have to go back to the grocery store later. I said, I'm sorry, I broke your cash register. It wouldn't, when I bought my groceries, it would not, the computer froze and they couldn't get it back up online. So I left. They checked to make sure my payment had gone through, but I left with no receipt. And I said, yes, I want my receipt. So I have to go back. They took my name and number, and I have to go back this afternoon to get my receipt once it's printed off. All right, so I think that should be good for the bottom. And like I said, I wanted it kind of rough looking because of the grass. And you can go as heavy or as light as you want. It's totally up to you. Yes, scene cards are so fun to do. Hello, Valerie. Thank you for joining. Hello, Jim. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the light pool party here because I wanted a lighter blue at the start of my sky or background. So actually, let's flip this over because I don't want it to contaminate that green. I don't want it to contaminate the blue that I'm about to do. So I'm just making sure my sponge here is loaded up. And all I've done is I've taken, this is an entire sponge that I have cut down. All right, so let's start this way here with that at the bottom, and then I'm starting off and I'm just in a circular motion going across. It is a gorgeous day here in southwestern Ontario. I hope wherever you are watching from, it is a lovely day as well. Things have gotten a little out of control again here. We're back down to only 10 people allowed inside. So here at the Denning house, there's 6 of us that are living here right now. So we are basically, I'd say pretty much at maximum. So hopefully things get settled down. Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up quickly. And it looks like we won't be getting together with family other than the people that live here. So hopefully it gets calmed down again so that Christmas we can spend together. I know that sounds like it's a long ways away, but really it's not. So I'm just bringing this down into that green a bit so that it's not a harsh line. It's blending it together. All right, let's flip around so that we're coming from the other side here. And then this area here is kind of tricky because it's under my goat's chin. Oh, and I've folded that back. We don't want that. We don't want the flower to be blue. We want it to be pink. So make sure that I'm careful there. Oh, that's the problem with this. You just have to have a little patience in this corner here. And did you know that you can add any of those sale stamps to your starter kit, making your $135 that you're paying go even further in Canada, it is $135 for the starter kit, and you get to choose $165 worth of products. For that $135, and there's never any shipping on your starter kit, and most provinces in Canada there's no tax. So if you would like to know more information on that, please reach out to me. I would love to welcome you to my Sassy Stampers family. We are a great bunch of crafters who love and support each other. We get together, well, right now we are not getting together in person, but online. We are a great community who support and celebrate each other's victories and what's happening in our lives. They are my extended family, I would call them. They're very, very important to me. We have no fellas on the team at this point in time, but we would absolutely welcome anybody and everybody who loves to craft. And now is the perfect time, because during September we've got the Get and Go, so you get 2 extra stamp sets in your starter kit. This area here is kind of tough because of my flower. You get 2 extra stamp sets in your starter kit, as well as card bases, and I think it's rhinestones, embellishments to create 16 cards. So if you chose to be have a clasp, have a little bit of a business, you're all set. If that's not for you, you can take those cards and right away just create some fun cards for family and friends. There's no cutting or prep work for you. You just have to start stamping. Now I got a big splotch here, so let's see if I can't blend that out a little bit. Be kind of like a sky cloud. Maybe a darker area if I can't get it. And I'll show you what I did last night to kind of get that around my goat, if it's not quite, because of the mask, if the ink has not quite gone all the way up tight and there's a little bit of a white halo, it's pretty easy to get rid of that. So I will have a blog post going up. I realized I didn't do my blog post from the other day when I did my paper pumpkin alternatives, so I'll have to type that up, but I do have this blog post almost ready to go, so once the video is done and up, I will publish it and you can see all of the measurements. Okay, I think you get pretty inky doing this. You have to have some patience because it does take quite a bit of time to lay down all that color. And I'm daubing off because I don't want it quite so heavy, to avoid those splotches like I did that one area here. I'm trying to hold it down, that flower petal, so I can blend that out just a smidge. Hello, Jeannie. You're on the fence with these long cards. Well, everybody seems to be doing them, so I was like, let's see what I can create. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's awfully cute. And if you've got lots of designer series paper, that's the perfect thing to use it up with. You don't have to have it doesn't have to coordinate exactly with that. I'm just wiping my hands off so I'm not getting blue everywhere. Okay, then I'm going to dry them on my pants. Okay, so close this up. Now let's peel this off. And okay, so let's color him in first before we do anything else. So I did pretty good with that flower, just right there. So I'm coming in with my dark flirty flamingo because I want it to be a nice bright pink. And then we are going to give light petal pink. We like to have some rosy cheeks because she's kind of blushing here. All right, and then the light crumb cake, and I'm not coloring it all in. I'm just going around the outside here and there, coloring in the little goatee, and then adding so I just want that hint of color. And then wherever our little fluffy tufts of fur are, around the little bum here, and the side. And I'm not being too particular. I just wanted to add just a bit of color here and there. All right, so now we need some color on the horns. So we're using ivory and the hooves. So we're just going to come in and up here. And then I want to lighten up that little bit of blush on the cheeks. So I'm taking my color lifter and I'm just going to lightly go over. And then any spots where I think, that might be just a little heavy, I'm just going to soften that line ever so slightly by going over it with the color lifter. All right, so now these areas here, all right, up in here, it doesn't have to be the same color. We just don't want it white. So I'm taking my light Pool Party and I'm just going to come in and color that in so it kind of blends that just ever so slightly with that ink, because I don't want that white around. So I'm just going around the different areas where it may not have. And the light Pool Party is a light enough color that it's not going to clash. It's just kind of blending it in, disguising that you have had a mask there. So I don't want to go too dark and it not. And right there. And then in between the hooves, I've got my dark soft seafoam, because it's a good green, and it's going to blend beautifully with where those white spots and right here in between the legs. And you know what? You're probably not even going to notice that because of the fact that that fence is going there. So then there's no real white, as you can see. And it really makes this guy stand out. So next, we're going to move all this stuff out of the way. These splatters are so easy to do, and we want to do it before we do the life is so good part because we want it to dry. So we are going to stick this right back on again, and I have one of the new water painters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over my microfiber cloth that I have from the dollar store, and all I'm going to do, I'm making sure that you can see here, is I am squeezing so that I've got water coming out of it, and I'm going to grab my bone folder and you can flick it like that, or there's two ways to do this. Take your lid and flick it like this. So it's whatever way you are comfortable, but you just have to keep squeezing that so that you get those bigger droplets of water. Because I love the cool effect that it gives. All right, and then we want some down here. Okay, that is that part done. And then we want some fabulous clear Wink of Stella. And we want to make sure that we've got enough in the barrel there. And we're going to take our bone folder and tap. And again, as much or as little as you want. But look at how, let me peel that off. Look at how gorgeous that is. Oh, so pretty and cool. So while we give this a few more moments to dry, because I don't want to stamp on it when it is wet, because I don't want my ink to bleed. So we are just going to move you aside, and we are going to come in with our base. So my base is, I've got my little cheat sheet there. So it is 8 inches across by 7 inches. So 8 inches long, 7 inches wide, scored at 3.5, so that you get it folded in half. Using the bone folder to get it nice and burnished. And then I've got a piece of Coastal Cabana, and it is 1/8 of an inch shorter end that, so that we have that nice little layer. And we're gonna just adhere that to the front. Okay, now the inside of our card, we are going to mask, and we need because we have photopolymer, so we need to have the paper piercing mat underneath. And I have I have hair stuck to that. So make sure I don't have any cat hairs or anything like that. You never know. My desk is Maya's favorite spot to lay down and have a little nappy. So we are covering up all right, so I think that's covered. So we only want With a Friend Like You to be inked. So let's bring in the memento and flip that over to make sure we're good and inked. All right, it looks good. Peel that tape off. That is very important. And make sure that I don't have any black anywhere else. So then we're just going to stamp that right. When it's so long, it's hard to tell what's the middle. All right, so there we go. And we need to clean that off because we don't want any residual black on the card front. Okay, so close that lid so that I don't get ink all over me. Move this to the side. Bring in my silicone craft sheet. This card is a little bit more detailed. And I've got black on my hands, probably from the tape. But sometimes it is so much fun to spend a bit more time creating a card rather than just a really fast one. You want to sometimes create that more work of art scene type of card, more layers, more details. And I see I have some black from my fingers. So I have in my drawer somewhere, here we go, I have my eraser, so I'm just gonna give that a little there, and there we go. Okay, so now let's bring in our Stamparatus. I think this should be good enough, and I need my stamp set. It's always a good thing to have something as a base underneath to hold, and then line it up on the line here. Just stamp the other goat in there. Lorraine, I got the eraser from Amazon a few years ago. I ordered it. Now, I'm not sure if those big box stores would have them or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay that like that so that I can guesstimate whereabouts you can put your sentiment wherever you want. All right, so and then I need to stand up and look at it so to make sure, because it's going right on there, so I don't want it to be crooked. So I'm going to pick that up, and then will that interfere? and come just, I don't want it, if I have to come over again with more ink, I don't want this base lifting up. Okay, so you probably can't see. Let me scooch this down. I have more washi tape. Okay, so I've got some more washi tape that we need to cover up the bottom part of the sentiment. Let's just, okay, I'm pulling it off so that I can see to make sure. Flip it over, and it looks like I am not covering any of the letters that I don't want covered, and my With a Friend Like You looks like it's covered. So we are just going to take that. Oh, they are covered with washi tape and duct tape die, so I have had them snap together, but I was able to get them apart. All right, so I think we're good. All right, so very carefully so I don't get ink all over my hands again. Peel that off, that to the side. Make sure my fingers don't have black ink on them. All right, and then I see right there, got it. All right, so now hold my breath and hope that I did a good job. And I've got ink up here. Here. Flip it over. I always use two. All right, so I always use two magnets. Give that, I'm pulling my sweater coat down so that I can really press well. And then lift up. See, it didn't quite, so can we flip her back? And that's the beauty of having a Stamparatus. You can go over. Ugh, that looks yucky. That's looking better. However, I'm not, so it's my good. Do you think I can, actually, if I pull this off, I'm trying to pull it off without hitting my camera. All right, can I do this? So, which way is it? Life is good. Yeah, I was right. So, good. Let's see. It's like doing surgery here. There is always a way to all right. I think we've got decent coverage there, so we are just going to please don't have shifted all that work. Otherwise, I'm going to have to put a layer over top, and it's not going to be stamped down solid if I've moved it slightly. Woo! Yay! All right, so let's just wipe that off so I can move that, and there, we fixed it. It's okay. So we're just gonna get you out of the way, and you out of the way, and then this is gonna just sit right there. So and then next, we're not done with the card, remember? Your fingers were crossed, Jeannie. Oh, yeah, that was a little scary, but we did it. And there we go. And because we have the glitter everywhere, we're just gonna take this and actually I'm gonna use a clean piece. There we go. I just want to flip it over and press it. I don't want to smudge anything in case that Wink of Stella is not quite dry. And I can see some sparkle on there, so no, it was not. But by flipping it over on top of a clean piece of paper, I am good. Cover that, bring in this. I just love the way this goat looks with the background. It really makes the goat stand out. So now I'm just taking and peeling all of these off. All right, it's almost done. This one anyway. And I've just got them in the middle so that they're not going to sink down. And it's just how high up do we want to go. So, and then depending on where you're stamping your goat is where your feeties are going to either show or not. So let's go, and we go right to the edge with that. And you are up too high. Come on. Because I haven't pushed down quite yet. There we go, that's a good. And before I want to just lift it up to make sure that it is straight because we don't want a crooked fence. Oh, hello, Carol. You were putting in your stamp sale order in. That's okay. You'll be able to watch it later on to see. Now, because this is two different pieces, this is one straight piece, and then this I have snipped off the end part. It is going to attach like this. So I need to just put, I don't really need to, I just, being persnickety, I want to put that little dot of glue right there on these two pieces so that they will line up and stick together. It's not quite, it's a little closer than the others, but I am okay with that. And then again, I'm lifting up to make sure that I am straight. We don't want a crooked fence. And then that bit of glue there. I'm going to take my, where's my take your pick tool in this disaster of a desk? It is, oh, there it is. I just want to lift this guy up to attach him. He's sunken down. So I'm just lifting him up so that he will attach. So it's not, I didn't like the way that was looking. All right, so then this part here, you can put your fun other goat. As you can see, I've got My Life is So Good is a little more towards the center on this card that I'm creating right now with you. So you can put your goat anywhere you want. I think right about there. So all I need, just to make sure, I just need a little bit of a dimensional right at the top there. So is that before I push down too hard to make sure? Yep, that's going to be good. So I'm going to put that dimensional there. And the rest is going to be on the fence because he's right up against the fence. So once I decide whereabouts he's going to go, so these two here, so I'm going to just put a dab of glue right here and here. That's basically where the body is. And take his little leg, because he's dancing in front of that fence. And so now his body is secure with the glue, and his head isn't gonna sag because he's got a dimensional. So there is our Slimline card. So adorable. I'm just like, I couldn't believe I made it last night. I was so proud of myself. So, and then of course, I've got, today's card is a little darker than yesterday's card. It all depends, but I just love the way the water spots and the Wink of Stella really add to it. Okay, so next, let's make that envelope. So here is the envelope, and I'll put them in like that. So, and it just folds like that, and then you would adhere this with your Seal Plus and put a label. You would just have to put a label on it, is all. So let's show you how easy it is to do that. So we need, I'm going to leave this in view. We need to bring in, actually I can't because of the camera. All right, my Simply Scored. And like I said, the cats seem to have absconded with my stylus. So I am using my bone folder, making sure that I am flat here. And this is what the other side is shiny. So this is what your envelope would look like before you have assembled it. And then you would just fold these sides in and then adhere that and then down like that. And I chose this paper because of the daisies, because I wanted it to kind of sorta, see the pink daisies here, and he's got a pink daisy in his mouth. That is how I chose my paper. So what you need is your designer series paper. Okay, this is going to be my outside. I'm going to apologize right now for that sparkle. This is the inside. So if you're directional, if you're going to choose a directional, it might look a little wonky, but your designer series paper is 9.5 by 9, and my card is 8. As you can see, it's 8 inches by 3.5. So the way I came up with this is I knew I needed about 1/4 of an inch-ish. I always end up with so much leftover designer series paper die. So why not use it? Take whatever card you've created and look at your designer series paper if you're not using any for your card, and what's going to go really well with it. Well, we've got a daisy here, so let's choose paper that has daisies. And the Ornate Garden Specialty Designer Series paper has so many daisy patterns. it's perfect. So I just decided, okay, I needed a little bit on either side for my fold-in tabs. Actually, it goes like this. So, because on your 9.5 inch side, that's this side here, see, we want some extra here so that my card is, when it's slid in, it's easier to see it this way. When it's slid in, it goes in easy. It's not super tight. So you want to make sure you give yourself enough enough extra so that it's not a super tight fit, because you don't want to be ramming it in there and bend your ish. Yeah. Ish. Titch, ish, smidge. Those are my measurements. A dash. So on the 9.5 inch side, we are going to score at 5/8. So these little dashes here, can you see them? Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the one dash after your 1/2 inch on your Simply Scored. And we are just going to go down a couple times to make sure. It's with designer series paper that's patterned. It's very hard to see the lines. So, and then we want 8 7/8. So that's the dash right beside the 9 inch. So go a couple times on that. Then you're going to rotate it to your 9 inch side. And then you're going to go 2 7/8. So that is your line right before the 3 on your Simply Scored. All right, and we're just going to do that. And then 8 7, or sorry, 6.5. I was looking at the other one. 6.5 right here. So that's going to give you your 2 7/8 and 6.5. So that gives you your base, your middle, your top. So let's move this out of the way, and we are going to start to fold. So we're going to fold and burnish on all those score lines. So now, if you recall, this is what we need it to look like. We don't need these top tabs here. So, and I find these are just an extra pair of scissors. I find that for cutting these longer tabs off, I want the longer scissors. So I'm going to cut and snip in these score lines here. Cut, snip in, get rid of those. I am not a mathematical type of person at all, believe me. I've always been artsy craftsy. I love to cook and bake and all that kind of stuff and make things. So coming up with measurements in that is not my forte. So if I can do it, you can totally do it. All right, so can we see better here? So I'm going to fold. Is that flipping you out too much? I'm going to fold that down, and that way I can see exactly. These longer scissors do a better job for me anyways. So these are the ones that we are cutting off, and I'm just realizing that I did not add my I think it's detailed trio punch. Oh, I didn't do such a great job on that one. Let me just straighten that out. Like I said, pattern paper is a little tricky to see the lines. So your lines might not be so awesomely cut, but close enough is good enough, right? All right, so there we go. So now this is what we've got. So we are going to bring in the, I think it's called the Detailed Trio. The Long Fingernails Unipan. Oh, I don't remember. Mr. Blake was a good teacher. Okay, so now we want to round our corners just to make it look prettier. So we are going to slide that all the way in and punch all the way in, punch, and we're going to do that with all 4 corners. There we go. So now you don't want to put your adhesive on this piece here, because if you go all the way to the top, when you close this, it's not going to, it's going to stick right off the get-go, and that's not good. You want to be able to have the opportunity to adjust anything if need be. So I am taking my Stampin' Seal Plus, and what I'm going to do is, because this is a stronger adhesive, I'm going to go right along the line here, and I'm going to just take my finger and roll that over, because I don't want it to go too, I don't want to run the risk of going over too far, and then I have given myself no room to get my card in there. So right along the edge, and fold that and roll it up. It's easy peasy, and that's what we like, isn't it? And then we are just going to fold and press, and we are sealed. And look at how pretty that is. So pretty to receive that in the mail, and then with your label, just a white label on the front with your recipient's name and address on it. So then, as you can see, we are just going to, and then the inside is just as pretty as the out, and then we just slide that in. And then you would, when you go to, after you've written in this, you're going to just apply some whatever adhesive you want to that, and then fold it and press, and there your card is ready to go in the mail. Detailed Trio punch. Okay, so how fun and easy is that? And another way for you to use your designer series paper. Yes, wedding cards, if you've got a lot of people that you want their names on it, sometimes a smaller regular size card is not quite enough, whereas this kind of a card, you've got more room to write in it and that. And then with using designer series paper, it just makes that envelope so much more beautiful than just your plain white or vanilla envelope. So I hope you guys enjoyed my card today and my envelope. I hope I taught you something new, and I have inspired you to get out your designer series paper and try your hand at making some slimline cards, as well as the coordinating envelopes. Ha! Yes, I do have your address, Diana. Are you saying you'd like one of these cards mailed to you? I'll mail you a card if you promise to mail me a card. So anyhow, that is all for me today. I hope you really enjoyed this. Let me give you one more close-up view of this adorable card. I just love it. So cute. And I hope I went slow enough with my instructions for your folding and your scoring and all that kind of stuff so that you can easily, and you can see why when I snip down, you can see right here, when you angle cut, I call it mitering. You're mitering that corner. That way it comes down a bit. It's not butt up against that score line. So when you're folding, it's not creasing it. It just gives it that extra little area there for the room for that to fold down over. Now you can make any size card you want and any size envelope as long as your card is not 12 inches long. So, alrighty. Thanks once again. Don't forget about that stamp sale. It's only 24 hours long today, so get in there before the time runs out. 15% off of stamps is fabulous. And if you are one of my demonstrator friends, remember, if you're a new demonstrator watching, you get your demonstrator discount on that top of that 15% off. So a great deal all around. So get shopping. All right, thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you on Friday. Have a great Wednesday, and take care, be safe, and we will see you in a couple days. Bye for now.